You know your car is constantly talking to you. But between all the beeps, the flashes, and the little vibrations from its advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS, are you actually understanding what it's trying to say? Well, in this explainer, we're going to decode the language of your car's safety alerts, so you can go from being annoyed to being truly aware.
I mean, have you ever been startled by a sudden chime for what seems like absolutely no reason? Or felt your steering wheel just start vibrating out of the blue? You definitely know that feeling. It's frustrating, right? And it can even make you start to distrust the very systems that are supposed to be keeping you safe.
Well, here's the good news. You are not alone in feeling this way. And believe it or not, there's a logic to all that chaos. So think of this as your personal translation guide. We're going to move from confusion to real confidence by understanding the why behind every single warning. So let's start with the most basic question of all. Why do these alerts even exist?
Right, so why does your car even need to talk to you? Well, its ADAS systems use a whole suite of sensors. We're talking cameras, radar, the works, to constantly monitor everything that's happening around you. The alerts? They're simply the system's way of bridging the gap between what its computer sees and what you, the human driver, need to know to make a smart decision.
This right here breaks the entire system down to its absolute core. Every single alert, no matter what it is, does one of three things. It either warns you about a potential hazard, it prompts you to take some kind of action, or it simply informs you about what the system is up to. The key thing to remember is that these are reminders. They're not commands. The car is your co-pilot, for sure, but you are always the one flying the plane. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down the three main ways your car communicates: through what you see, what you hear, and what you feel. Once you get this, you'll know exactly what to pay attention to and when.
We'll start with the most common ones, visual alerts. These are all the little icons and messages that pop up on your dashboard or your head-up display. I like to think of these as the car's quiet, inside voice. They're giving you routine information without needing to shout about it.
And you see this stuff all the time. When the little lane lines on your display turn from white to green, that's a visual cue that this system's active. That little car icon? That's your adaptive cruise control just saying, hey, I've locked onto the car ahead. Even that coffee cup symbol is just a gentle visual nudge. None of these are emergencies. They're just the car keeping you in the loop.
Okay, now for the noisy ones, audible alerts. These are the beeps and chimes that are literally designed to be intrusive. And why is that? Well, it's because when you hear one, the system truly believes your immediate attention is needed to check out a potential risk. They're intentionally sharp and loud, so they can cut right through your music or conversation.
And this comparison here just nails the difference. A visual alert is passive. It's low-urgency information. But an audible alert? That's active. It's a high-urgency demand for your attention. So think of it this way. What you see is often a just so you know, but what you hear is almost always a look out now.
All right, the third way your car talks to you is through haptics, basically through touch. This is a much more instinctual approach. Instead of adding another distracting sound or light, the car communicates physically in a way that's meant to feel a lot more like natural driving feedback. So, what does that actually feel like? Well, if you start to drift out of your lane, the steering wheel might vibrate, kind of like you're hitting a rumble strip. That's your lane departure warning. If you feel the wheel gently pushing back against you, that's lane centering trying to keep you on track. Some cars even vibrate your seat on the side where another car is hiding in your blind spot. It's all about creating this direct, intuitive feedback that your body understands without you having to think about it.
Okay, so we know what the alerts mean when they go off, but what about when they don't? This is a huge source of frustration for so many people. Why these systems seem to work one minute and not the next. I know it can feel totally random and inconsistent, but here's the thing. That's actually a feature, not a bug.
And this is really the key takeaway here. When your car shows you a message like system limited or feature unavailable, it doesn't mean something's broken. It's just being honest. It's telling you that the current conditions are outside of its operating limits. This isn't a failure, it's a feature. The system is smart enough to know when it needs to say, hey, I can't help you right now.
So what kind of stuff throws it off? Well, it's pretty much all the things you'd expect from driving in the real world. Heavy rain, thick fog, or even super bright direct sunlight can blind the cameras. A little bit of mud on a sensor, faded lane lines on the road, or even a trailer you're towing can all affect how the system performs.
So, understanding why a system might be limited is one thing, but what do you actually do in the moment when an alert goes off? This brings us to your action plan. Knowing what an alert means is helpful. Knowing how to react is everything. And the goal here is super simple: awareness, not panic.
Okay, think of these 5 steps as your new playbook for any alert. And look, number 1 is the most important, by far. Look at the road first, not the dashboard. Then scan for whatever hazard the car is warning you about. Be ready to take manual control, but try not to fight the system if it nudges the steering wheel. It's just trying to help. The reflection part, figuring out why it happened, that can wait until you're in a safe spot.
This right here, this is the whole mindset shift you need to make. The system isn't nagging you or criticizing your driving. It's not a backseat driver. It's your co-pilot, just giving you an early heads up based on information you might not have seen yet. Viewing it this way completely changes your relationship with the technology.
Look, it's really easy to just brush off a single alert as being a little too cautious. But what you can't ignore is a pattern. If you're constantly getting forward collision warnings, maybe you're following a bit too closely. If you're always getting lane departure alerts, maybe you're more distracted than you realize. These patterns are data, and they often point to very genuine risks.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. The goal here isn't to just be a passive passenger in a really smart car. It's about building an active, informed partnership between you, the driver, and the machine.
And here's a final really practical tip. Before you get so frustrated that you just turn a feature off completely, go dig around in your car's settings menu. Most of these systems let you adjust the sensitivity, the timing, or even the volume of the alerts. Fine-tuning the system to your personal preference is always a better option than just disabling a safety feature entirely.
Because in the end, this is what it's all for. When you understand the language your car is speaking, the whole driving experience just becomes less stressful. You can make better, more informed decisions, and you and your car can finally work together like a real team.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. On your very next drive, knowing what you know now, what's the first alert you're going to really listen for? Will it be a visual cue, an audible warning, or maybe a haptic vibration? Because that moment, that new awareness, that's the first step to becoming a safer, more confident driver.